Hi, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Marcus here again. And I'm here because I'm trying everything I possibly can to make the human experience much, much brighter for those of us who are really missing it. There's a lot of evil that's being marched across the land today. There's a lot of good, but the evil is still marching forward. I was thinking today about billionaires. I heard something on TV when they had raised about $100 million to help some particular concern back in the early 20s, and they were saying that was an awful lot of money. And I'm thinking about if that was an awful lot of money, what about the billionaires today? What about the number of billions that they have? And I'm thinking to myself, a billionaire is truly an affront to poor people. Yes, that is an expression of evil as well for those who can see through it. I'm thinking about Ukraine. Can't help but think about Ukraine. Ukraine is going through a whole bunch of destructive acts by a party that is infringing on their right. A party that wants to control or manipulate, I guess. I don't know what the motivation is, but I know what the sin is. The sin is going over and indulging these people with all of this destruction. But just because you got the power, nations that don't have the power don't do stuff like that. And as they are doing this, I want to say this to America. I'm sure others have said it, but I just want to say it too to let it be known that it is obvious. We can see what Russia is doing. We know what Russia is doing is wrong. We know it's wrong, and there's nothing we can do to say it's right. And it's just as wrong as when we saw Trump come into American political scene doing what he has been doing. We knew it was wrong, and we let him, allowed him to continue doing it, and he is still out actively doing it. It's still just as wrong as Ukraine having to endure getting their buildings blown up, getting their housing buildings blown up, people living down in subways trying to avoid this suffering. And, ladies and gentlemen, as we look at this, as we look at what Trump did and is doing, as we look at what Putin, Russia, and are doing in Ukraine, I want you to also remember the United States did the same thing to Saddam Hussein and Iraq, the same identical thing. We didn't see it like that. We didn't see it like this. But that's exactly what it is and was, and others saw it just like that. So what am I saying that for? I'm saying that it doesn't matter. Everybody got their moments. Then was America's moments. Couldn't tell them nothing. Now is Russia's moments. You can't tell them anything. Just as wrong as can be. Just as wrong as can be. And the people here in America then, people in Russia now, and all in between, all this hellishness and evilness is going on. And there is no one, no some that are able to stand up for what's right, the decency of human life. It's a shame. Well, anyway, that evil is wrong that's going on. And then I heard them say that right now that Ukraine, who wanted to be a friend with America, done everything that they possibly could, guys running for office to try to get corruption out of that government, only to find out that one of the American presidents wanted to get them back into corruption. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Woo-wee. couldn't get them back into it, held them hostage. And they've been hostage ever since. I'm thinking, ladies and gentlemen, see this all again. What's the BS? Come on. God has a beautiful plan. People, I'm talking to you. Now, I understand you didn't start the systems. Somebody else did. And people went along with it. They were rewarded for going along with it. They were rewarded for going along with it. Let me give you an example of what I mean by rewarded. Preachers today, especially these big churches, right? They get all kinds of money from the people. Isn't that true? And they do it all in the name of God and doing God's work, right? Right. Now, the system knows that's a con game straight from the pit of hell. They know that. But they don't care. They permit that to happen because it keeps people blind. It keeps people subjected to ignorance from a system. And this, my friends, is the reward that these so-called people of God get for playing the game. If they play the game and have you plant $1 million seed and you do it, it's fine with the system. They know you got to be out of your mind. But that's fine. You can't threaten them because you crazy. But the message that I'm telling you, it'll lift everybody out of poverty. The thing that's detrimental to the system is that those that want to be powerful, they are those who money doesn't mean anything. They just want to be able to control and manipulate others. They need that. They need to be the big shot. And they're going to be there. But they can only be there and do what they do as long as you are ignorant enough to not know what's going on. And they will do any and everything to keep you from not knowing. Like, don't tell the history of this ugliness of America. They said, don't tell that history. Don't teach that. And all at the same time, when they say don't teach it, they're trying to go back into time and relive it. You think there might be a connection? They want to relive it, so don't teach it. Because if they teach it, then everybody knows they aren't really progressing. They're just, yeah. That's a thought. Anyway, they said that Ukraine is standing up for democracy. I was reminded when I heard the president and I heard others reach out to the world and say the president said, I don't need a ride. I need some help, some military help. Help me kick these guys out of my country. And I was thinking about they're asking all over the world, help us. We can't fight this monkey and win. We'll give everything we got. But can we be successful? We can if you help us. Or can we do it alone? Probably can't, but we're going to try. And then I'm thinking about that. What is the world going to say? What is their response going to be? Are they just going to say, well, we'll give you some money over here. We'll give you some of this. We'll give you some of that. But we're not going to fight that monkey for you. No, we're not going to even help you fight it. It reminds me when the time that people were running from their oppressors and they came to the border asking people, can I enter into your country because it's crazy out here. Please help us. And they say, no, you can't come in here. Close the borders. No. Wow. That's humanity. That's the kind of humanity that I'm trying to wake Americans up from. And hopefully by doing that would be able to, affect the whole world. Wake people up to understand that the joy of life, everybody wants it. Those things that are so essential, that gives you those things are built in. They are innate. They are just like your organs. They are there, already put there, imprinted in your DNA. And it's not just for you alone. It's for the whole human race. And it requires the same identical things to satisfy one, to satisfy all. And that is being what? Peaceful, being prosperous. And all of those things can be met, designed to be met by allowing each individual to be engaged in the process, to know that they are important. You are on a team. You're not just here to waste time. You are here to be a part of something. And that gift which you have been given allows you to participate, to play your role in the process on this team, to make sure that all the stuff that exists in such an abundance that no one would ever be without. Their needs, their wants, and desires will be met at their leisure. And we don't have to lie to cheat or steal or yield to those who want to be God, because we know where our power comes from. It comes from an invisible God, not one sitting on the throne, taking people to wars, taking people's rights. No, that's bull. We don't play that game anymore. This is what I'm asking the people to consider and rethink how we're going to deal with this thing. It's a really easy matter, ladies and gentlemen. It's not about violence. It's just about changing your mind. Have you ever been married? Have you ever been divorced? Have you ever been divorced? The first one is over. So this is what I'm saying. Divorce yourselves from this evil world and marry a beautiful world. I want to thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen, for giving me this your time. Maybe I can get some sleep. Good night.